Whoa! What's up, everybody? Jonathan Fuller here at the beautiful Superstition Mountain here in Apache Junction. And I have a surprise guest today. Her name is Christina, and she just doesn't know she's coming on, but she's coming on. Come on out here, babe. She came to help me record, but I wanted y'all to introduce to the one who made it all happen for me in my life, my greatest catalyst, and my best friend Christina, who has helped me become the man that I am today. So shout out to you, babe.
Oh,
Thank you for always being there for me and always pulling me into the greatest version of me. And I was thinking about talking about sovereignty on this video, and I was also wanting to comment on this playlist, video number 1. I just started quoting some scriptures that meant a lot to me as a Christian in my past. I was in the religion of Christianity, and me and her kind of met as we both were exiting out. And just it was on my heart to talk about the sovereign journey of healing and growing and coming out of religion but being in spirituality while in the religion, but it got kind of skewed, but then coming out, and how it was she seemed to keep her spirituality in this 5-year span after getting out, and I kind of didn't. I kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater, but continue to keep my morals, and I worked hard. I probably became a workaholic, and just focused on that and providing and doing all those physical things that men feel good about doing. And so, yeah, let me see if I have a question for you. But I guess maybe the question is, would you like to let everyone know who you are and maybe comment on what I just talked about and how we met, both kind of coming out of Christianity, and sovereignty, I guess, is maybe the topic.
yeah. So, no clue this is going to happen, but I think we could make it happen. This is what we do.
Yeah. Improv. Surprise.
Yeah. So, it's funny because I was going to ask you a question to kick off. So, we're on the same vibration. So, for me, yes, I was anchored more in who I am because of my Krystic architecture. So, I was built more so to be super connected deeply, but I struggled with a lot of the narratives that were out there that didn't seem to fully click and rest in my seat of my soul. And so I would hear things and like, okay, I hear that, and studied YouTube land for, gosh, 15 years. I would listen to everybody. I wanted to know why they were saying that. I wanted to know what they were saying and where they got that data from. And because I was doing that, I started to notice a golden thread, that there were common themes throughout what everybody was saying over the years, that I was like, yep, that feels correct. That feels like a frequency, that feels natural.
Same.
And so a lot of time, he was working concrete, so he was working and I got to sit. And the reason why I was able to sit was because I was forced to sit. There were circumstances and situations that happened that allowed me to have a long time of space for myself. And so I went within and did a lot of listening. And funnily enough, I wear hearing aids in both ears. So when you lack in that area, there's something else that kicks in and helps, compensates, but then becomes a superpower. So I started to, yes, yep. And so since we're talking about the subject of sovereignty, I didn't realize I was on the path of sovereignty, to unplug from all these narratives that were out there, that I was like, okay, this part, yes, this part, and there was still a lot of mixture. And so he and I, we would talk about these things, and like he would share his journey, and I saw the frustration and the pain of feeling not connected, feeling like, well, what does community look like? What do friendships look like? What does relationship look like? What does relationship with yourself look like? Because we were anchored in a certain narrative that we were able to lean on. So, and then for me, where I was uh, frustrated and felt like I was a loser, was my capacity to command, get what I want. And so over the years, it was just still digging in and learning to trust yourself. And I had an encounter where I was working on some contracts, and I was at the edge of myself. I was like, God, I see why people say, Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm at the edge of myself, learning to trust myself. Am I right? Is this correct? Am I on the right track? I had nobody to bank on but bank on myself and what I was hearing in my heart. And then all of a sudden, Jesus, Yeshua, walks up. I'm in the kitchen in our Minnesota house, walks up to me in the spirit, but I could see him and feel. He's like, I'm just one of the many, and walks off, and peace just that my field. It was like he brought his field to me, and the peace and trust just was fully able to express in my field. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't even expecting that. And I still look back on that day. I'm like, wow, Yeshua was like, I got somewhere to be. I'm going to go see Christina. Like, I think about that. Like, there's just things that we don't fully comprehend. And I just never nailed anything to the floor. It's like, well, what is this? And that seeking. But I think he and I are just more grounded now, to where we know who we are and how we want to be of service to others. And so, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, babe.
Yeah.
And one thing that came through for me while you were talking there, and how Yeshua said, I'm just one of the many. And that's one thing that just really turned me off about Christianity, was that it was like, hey, we have the truth and everyone else doesn't, and so it's like, hey, I need you to believe like me, and then that'll make me feel okay. Or, there was a separation there. So, Chase Hughes, I just watched a video this morning, how he says like all the ancient wisdom and religions, I guess you would call, all have a something in common, and that was that there's no separation, and that everything that you're looking for is within you, and so I feel like for me that was the biggest knowing, was to know that I am known, and that I am accepted, loved, no matter what, by source, by the all loving energy that is, and that everyone's connected to that. And so as I judge myself or others, as I'm judging others, I'm really judging myself, because we're all connected. And I think that's why sovereignty ties into the oneness, the one message, right? Because if we're all one, then the only thing you really can do is be sovereign. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there it is right there. So sovereignty is the original design, is the original human design. Because in being sovereign within myself, I'm actually being one with my neighbor, mm-hmm. and with my enemy. And I'm seeing a reflection of me and all of that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I how I see that is, the quantum field. There's a lot of material out there about the quantum field and morphogenetic blueprints and all of that technology, scalar, and all that technology that is unseen. However, you can't move away from it. And what do I mean by that? For me, because I was kind of forced to sit and be with myself, created a familiar pattern where I have no problem sitting in our fifth wheel, sitting there for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So that is a morphogenetic blueprint that I had developed, not knowing that there is a function behind the choices that I made that are effortless and easy for me. So, by the same token, if you're programmed at a young age, 0 to 7, you might have programmed your morphogenetic blueprint, the code that you function off of, you might have programmed that a specific way, and it's all that you've ever known. Well, guess what? We get to go back to that and say, you know what? I want to change the color on this. I want to change the frequency on this. I want to change the vibration on that. And that is the beginning of sovereignty. And on my journey, for me, it was mechanical. I'm a practical, like I like monkey see, monkey do. If I could see you do it, if I can feel that, if I comprehend how that energy frequency moves, I get in there, boom, 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 and just make it happen for myself. And so watching him and learning this together, of the nervous system being another component in the physical, in this world, which is a bridge to the unseen world, and to watch his breakthrough and his paradigm shift, and watching how his Krystic architecture supports what he does and why he's here, and just watching everybody coming in and their lives being transformed. So, yeah, definitely the sovereignty, the one, and that what you just tapped into, that being one with source, that's a higher dimensional concept. And in the 3D form, being one may look like, hey, we go to the same church, hey, we do the same activities. There is a place for that. But what about the person that you may not see eye to eye with? Do we just keep separating? Do we just stay comfortable and in our own little bubble and never grow? And it's like, no, it's like, get out of your comfort zone and stretch your skills, expand your nervous system, expand your capacity to move and deal with certain situations that otherwise would trigger you, become a skill set. So yeah, right on. And I feel like what you said was from the 70. That's what's just popping in my mind. That is a 70 concept. So awesome. We'll have to look into that later.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. And so sovereignty begins with yourself, and learning how to meet the parts of you that you may be embarrassed about, the parts of you that you aren't proud of, maybe some of the choices you've made in the past. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of those choices and the things you're embarrassed about are coming from a place of being wounded as a child by not having your emotional needs met, because we come into the world so loving, open, vulnerable, precious, innocent little beings. It doesn't take much to get the guard up, and that can happen in the first 3.5 years, let alone the first 7. 0 to 7, they say, is when a lot of it, the programming, happens to the subconscious mind and things. So we make vows to ourselves that we'll never feel that pain again. We put walls up, but healing is the journey of tearing down those walls, feeling back through that pain, even though it feels like you may want to die, and feeling that and going back through that. And that's why I love helping people, facilitate people on going back to visit that wounded child, that where the programming happened in the nervous system, that the emotional body, and where the body keeps the score. Where is it in your body and things? And so if these are new concepts, just type this stuff in YouTube, start learning more about it. You can go to my website, fortheknown.com. You can schedule a one-on-one and look up Tim Fletcher. Tim Fletcher has tons of material, and that's where I'm still a part of that platform, coaching people there, facilitating groups through the topic of complex trauma, not having your emotional needs met. And so that's where sovereignty begins. And so just wanted to add that. Also want to shout out to Christina's website.
Krystic-Origins.com.
You heard it. You can get a reading. She can break it down for you. And I wanted to come out here and do a video with her before we leave to head back to Idaho. Beautiful Superstition Mountains, lots of great energy, huh, babe? Yeah, she loves this mountain.
We love it. I'm already grieving that we're leaving. I'm like, no.
But we'll be back and maybe be doing some more videos here. So love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Babe, thanks for joining me on this video.
Thank you for the shout out.
Love you. Love you guys.